When I had miscarriage in the hospital, they didn't have a hospital bed for me. I was put in an examination room. I think they didn't know what to do with me at the time because I was only 19. And then I was quite young, and they were waiting for the thing to proceed naturally. And then they gave me tablets, so I was in a lot of pain. So I think, and then I was surrounded by women getting hysterectomies. So that was kind of traumatic for me.
Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Tracy Donegan. Today I'm speaking with Rosemary Noonan about her VBAC, the difficulty accessing an ECV in Holles Street, and a regrettable breach of confidentiality. In this episode, Rosemary also shares how storytelling through her art helped her navigate the intricacies of womanhood, influenced by her own personal experiences of pregnancy loss and trauma. And now I bring you Rosemary Noonan.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my podcast. And today we're going to meet Rosemary Noonan. And Rosemary is based in Ireland and is going to share her experiences of maternity services in Ireland and tell us a little bit about her artwork that has, I guess, been part of her journey of through Irish maternity services. Welcome, Rosemary. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Tell us, where you're based and a little bit about, I guess, your journey to VBAC.
Yeah, I have two boys. There's one is 7 and the other is 3. And William, I had by C-section because I had a breech birth, and I was in Holles Street Hospital at the time. And like prior to that, I actually, which is the start of my journey in the college, I did have a miscarriage when I was a teenager, and that was another part of my life. But I had an experience in the hospitals then too, so I don't know if that would be relevant.
Yeah,
But
please. Yeah.
yeah, the when I had the miscarriage in the hospital, they didn't have a hospital bed for me. I was put in an examination room. I think they didn't know what to do with me at the time because I was only 19. And um and then I was quite young, and they were waiting for the thing to proceed naturally. And then they gave me tablets, so I was in a lot of pain. So I think and then I was surrounded by women getting hysterectomies. So like that was kind of traumatic for me. So when I was
Sure.
having William then, like nearly 20 years later, I was very nervous about the whole, I thought going into labor was going to be really painful and stuff. Now, I really wanted to have a natural birth and have the natural experience, based on, I suppose I want to do everything naturally. And
Right.
um, um, I was, and then when I was told he was breached, I was kind of that pregnancy that happened because I didn't exactly wanted the pregnancy, the first pregnancy.
Mm,
I felt that the guilt of
right.
of that carrying it, and this is that's why I was going through the fact that he was breached and he wasn't moving, and I was using I was going to an acupuncture, and there was a doula who done a talk. She done a workshop in somewhere in Dublin. I can't remember. Her name is Pauline, but she was lovely, and she done a workshop about, like, it was literally about how to prepare yourself for birth. But then I was able to talk to her through the process as well because I was nervous about going through a C-section. But
Sure.
and I was trying my best. I tried every option. Like I exhausted like the acupuncture, the moxa sticks, the
Sure.
spinning babies. Um, the thing about Holles Street was grand. I went public, and one of the consultants had pretty much had said to me about, she just said you can get the that turn thing, but she said you can, and she kind of pretty much said that but you could risk having a miscarriage. And I was like 32 weeks pregnant, and she was very flippant. She was very young, I suppose, and she was just getting, like, I was the last
Yeah.
patient there, and I was very upset. It just really upset me, and I think Ollie had to take the rest of the day off because I was a bit annoyed over the whole thing.
Terrible.
And then I went then for the exam and no, to get the thing done, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for hours, and turned out they didn't have me booked in properly. And then I asked them, can I be booked in the next day? No, like they said, well, we're booking you in for a C-section. But I said, yeah, but I want to get this done. So I went in the next day and I did do the turn, and he actually wouldn't turn. Like your man did
Mm.
try. So
Yeah.
I did my booked in for the C-section then, and I tried to make as positive as I could with like the like, and it was a positive experience. Bar my
Right.
cat dying the next day.
Oh,
So, but that then William was born, and like the healing process was hard because Ollie wasn't driving, and but like I got to breastfeed. He didn't for I think they were like I remember what AFIF was saying about like that they were very quick to give the formula,
mm,
and they like like they didn't explain about the colostrum is only a small bit. And I
sure.
thought I was expecting loads, and they didn't explain that properly to me. And it was only a few weeks after that, my friend got me in touch with the extended breastfeeding group, and I actually found a lot of positive stuff
Great.
about that. But like he was been breastfeeding then till he was 2.5. So like,
Lovely.
it was great. And then after that, 3 year like 2 years later, I was pregnant with James, and again I said I was adamant I wanted a VBAC and everything like that. But all the odds were going against me. I had gestational diabetes,
Yes.
um, and then lockdown happened, and
Mm,
then Ollie wasn't able to go to the appointments with me, so I was pretty much on my own. And the Coombe actually I thought was a better hospital in Hollis Street in a way. What you weren't dealing with the masses. It was a bit more. It was a bit more I think personal, like was
right.
the only thing was they were like, oh, the chance of you having a VBAC is very slim, blah blah blah, and you have gestational diabetes, so all the odds are you going against you. And the consultant then, like, well, James was breached for a bit, but then he flipped, which was fine, and your man did say he'd do the turn thing, but he said it wasn't dilating, and he checked me, and I wasn't very comfortable about that. And
Mm,
but I spoke to Emer McGlabe, who was a doula at the time, and we had Zoom sessions, and she got me prepared, and she told me to listen to your Gentle Birth app, and that really saved me because that was really helped me throughout the whole, like, the process, even the going through the birthing journey, because I didn't know first of all when I was getting contractions that I was actually going into natural labor. But
ah, great.
prior to prior to that was like, you know um they were adamant about pushing me for a C-section, and I
Excuse me.
refused to book it. I kind of stuck to my guns because I was managing my sugars and everything like that. I was on metformin, and that's the thing they were saying, oh well, you're on metformin, like, you're a high risk, blah blah, blah blah blah. And I said, oh well, I'll wait till I've 40 weeks, and when I go over the 40 weeks, then I said we can talk about dates about the
Right.
C-section. And
Reasonable.
I had done my research, and at the time, and had spoken to Emer about it, and she gave me some stuff to read, and
Right.
like I was feeling healthy. I knew my baby wasn't at risk because I was getting the scans. He was doing fine. And then all of a sudden, during the due date, I started getting these pains, and I didn't know I was in labor. And I was like asking people, "Am I in labor?" And then when I was brought into the hospital, then I had to wait on. Ollie had to wait outside because he couldn't
Mm,
drive, and he didn't know how long it was going to take. And he had his coffee cup and everything outside the coombe, and my dad was like, "You sure you don't want to go home?" And then Ollie was about to go home, but like I was like waiting and waiting, and I thought like I was bouncing the ball for a minute, and then like think they moved me to the other ward. But it would have been nice, Ollie, to be there, like
or,
because the contractions were getting more and more, and
mm,
things were happening, and then I vomited and did something else, and I won't say.
right.
And my pajamas was destroyed, so I didn't come prepared because I had a C-section last time. So So anyway, he just about as Ollie was leaving, I actually went. They had said I was ready to like that the baby was coming, and I had called Ollie in the nick of time, and he didn't go home.
Wow.
And I think I had the VBAC, but they didn't make me keep the thing on. Actually, they actually got me in position. They were very good that way, and there was no kind of struggle or that. And but like, and I was using the TENS machine to kind of keep the pain at bay. I had.
Right.
I I think when I was going through the different stages of the thing, I was using the Gentle Birth app, and I think it was when I think the waters had broken. It was where I was doing one of the visualization things, which was amazing. Like not just saying that, but it was. So so that got me through.
Powerful tool.
What?
It's a powerful tool,
Yes.
the mind.
Yeah. So, but when I did have James, and like having I, despite all the odds that were against me, I actually had the birth I wanted, and like the aftermath, like the the having to strengthen those muscles again, and that were worth it. But to say,
Right.
I got to experience, and I was able to drive the next day, and I was able to walk around and do things I wasn't able to do when I had William. Like,
Mm.
yeah, I was able to go and change his nappy. I was too afraid to walk with William because I had major surgery and stuff like
Mm.
that. In a sense, I did have a good experience in the comb. It was just that, the fact that they kept like, putting the words of doubt in your mind and not trusting. And I know they have a kind of a bit more. I suppose they're trying to protect themselves as well.
Of
But
course.
like with Hollis Street, even like my family doesn't know, my husband's family didn't even know I was pregnant before. And it was before I met my husband, and like they even had said, "This is your second pregnancy," and in front of my sister-in-law.
Hey there, if you're enjoying this conversation and are passionate about evidence based care in labour, the best way to support our work is to subscribe and share this episode with other amazing women in your life. Your support is so important to us and helps us reach more mothers with empowering content. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button and spread the love.
Before when I was waiting for the C-section to happen, and that's the thing I thought was really annoying me. That really annoyed me.
Yes,
So
absolutely. Yeah. I'm sorry that happened. Yeah, I can imagine that was a huge shock to the system. And then you're like, do I have to tell everybody now? Or
yeah, well, I didn't.
yeah.
I actually just kind of. Well, then I suppose when I was working on the art project, then I accepted what happened to me back then, and I suppose raising awareness about loss and stuff. I decided to share that journey as part of the whole
Mm.
artistic process. So like I hadn't, I think, hiding away from that kind of be accepting that now has given me a sense of relief, whereas last it kind of carried with me haunted me through the last two pregnancies.
Yeah.
So
Have you always been drawn to art? Is this something that you've always, expressed, your emotions through, or is it something that you kind of found that was, a helpful resource for you for processing some of these emotions?
I
And
I was always interested in art since I was young, like, but I was like, I think when after my teens and that, I think my confidence, I don't know whether it was confidence or something like that. I just I put it on hold. But my dad was into painting, and I used to like watching him paint. And I was always drawing, like pictures of figurative stuff and portraits and that when I was young, and then I just stopped. And
mm,
then like my husband was trying to get me back into it again. Like I was always interested. Like I always thought if I did it when I was younger, it would have been a fashion. I would have went for fashion design, and but then I decided to do business instead, and then I went and I started working in industry. So and then I was afraid to go back to it. But it was only the last few years. Then it was just before William was born. I started getting back into it again, and started really, like, I got into portraiture more so than
Mm.
anything else. And then when I was pregnant with William, I was participating for the Portrait Artists of the Year Kildare, which was run in Kildare town. But it was like a lot of artists around Ireland were participating in it. And I was competing against professional artists, and I was only painting a couple of months at a time. And then after that, I just kept painting, and I went to NCAD. After I had James, I decided, and I got made redundant in Kerry Group. I had kind of planned about leaving my job to pursue art, but then I got made redundant, so it kind of fell into
Made a
place.
decision for you.
Yeah, because I was in two minds whether I was going to do it or not. And then I went to NCAD. I'd done the CAD program for a year called Drawing and Visual Investigation. And after that, then I did a residency with a group of women, and I actually had a loss last year, and I think I was
Oh, I'm
reflecting
sorry to
then
hear
on
that.
the first loss I had, and I think I just I processed that within that week, whereas I didn't think it's something I would do. It was just it just gave me that opportunity, and after that, I kind of it expanded from there, and I had put in a proposal with Kildare Arts Council saying I was going to expand the team, talking about women's mental health and touch on like perimenopause. Like I wasn't sure at the time, but I was like postnatal depression, perimenopause, and different obstacles. And but I kind of focus on my own journey, like but then I brought in other women to share their stories about infertility and pregnancy trauma, and another person talked about work-life balance in regards to how juggling career and children. And I got their permission to use their voices in as part of the installation. And I think I had music in the background and stuff. So it wasn't just about my journey, it was about other people's journey as well. So the images around them, they can relate to their own personal journey. So like mine wouldn't be about infertility, but to someone else, by looking at the visuals and listening to different conversations, they would talk about their infertility journeys or their pregnancy trauma journeys. I found that it was something I didn't think I'd pull off, and it did. It worked really well, and people came to the room and actually opened up about their own, like their
Yeah.
stuff that I didn't know about them, that they shared with me. And I that was very touching and very overwhelming, because like it's something I didn't think I'd do anticipate, because I
Yeah.
just thought I'd be drawing babies and portraits and that, but not visual storytelling. It just finished there yesterday, and it's surreal now, like, but I don't know what's
Yeah,
going to happen.
congratulations.
Yeah,
And it sounds like it's been a helpful resource for yourself, but obviously without realizing your art is speaking to a common theme in women's lives of
yeah,
trauma and loss. And yeah, you've obviously touched other women with your own storytelling and art, which is something to be very proud of. You know,
yeah,
we don't tend to think that, how is my journey going to help anybody else? But often when we, have an opportunity for women to sit and talk together, you realize, God, we're so many of us are coping with the same struggles, and everybody has their own unique journey. And I think anything that can make that journey a little easier. And sometimes it's that realizing that common humanity between us all, that
yeah.
we're all struggling in some way. But it's fantastic. So you must be thrilled with yourself now that
I am.
it was
I
so well
am.
received.
It was so well received, and I just like it seems it's still a bit on the high. So I say, I suppose people, a few artists that have done shows said, that to come down is going to might be hard for you. But like I'm
Yeah.
just preparing myself and minding myself around that too, like, so. But no, it's been great, and I really glad I did it. Like a year ago, I wouldn't have anticipated doing anything like that. And the thing I did last year with the group, you know, it was within a, it wasn't within a group, but I did it myself. Like we all did our own pieces of art, but you know, I would have said, oh yeah, but it was because those people were, well, they were like, and it was, but I wouldn't have thought I'd be doing something like this on my own, like so. And as well, it has healed me. Like it has like come to terms because there was a lot of shame around the first pregnancy because like
Sure.
when you're a teenager, no one wants to talk about it, and
No.
you cause so many names, and you know it's the Catholic Church and all that. It
Oh,
just,
yeah.
you know, and you're kind of
Yeah.
hidden, and it was pretty much like that in Clonmel Hospital. It was kind of hidden away, you know. You know, she's having a miscarriage. She's 19. You know, I should have been put in with other women that were going through the same thing, and I just felt I was kind of, you know,
Hidden.
hidden.
Yeah. That's, oh, I'm so sorry. That's, yeah. I think like, haven't we, aren't we past that yet? You know, I know it was, several years ago, but still the fact that that anyone could think at any point in time that that was okay,
Yeah,
that women are shamed, and we have a long way to go when it comes to shame and women, especially in Ireland, and helping women get past that because it's almost like it's almost part of our DNA.
yeah.
It's we're actually born with this, shame of our, being a woman and shame over what our bodies do, and yeah, it's but I'm really thrilled that your exhibition went so well. So do you have more planned, or do
Um,
you have new installations that you're working on, or new art pieces?
I'm doing a course in post college as well. So in the midst of all this, I'm studying animation. So just have another string to my bow in relation to doing installations like this and have the animation element. So I'm working on that, but also then there's applications in again for February, and I have a few exhibitions coming up the next few weeks as well. So they're for St. Bridget's festival and that, but still like one.
Lovely.
A group in Athy had asked me to get involved based on, well, because they knew that I was doing the exhibition in number 8 gallery, with the Kildare Arts Council, and First Fortnight. I think they've asked me, you know, because they were aware of it and they knew of me. So I was glad to be part of that because it's something I didn't know I was going to be involved in. So like I will take some rest though after the last 2 weeks because I've been
Mm.
exhausted. Like I was traveling over and back, juggling childcare.
Or
I was bringing my son over to the gallery in the evening time, you know, in the afternoons and that, and having him, you know, entertain him while he's sitting with me in the gallery. So
yeah, I mean that's a full-time job in itself without adding, kids and
yeah,
home and everything else into it as well. Um, Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I know we've kind of we've bounced around this week, and between meeting with COVID last week and just trying to connect with each other, it's really been a lovely chat. And I do you have can you tell me, is there places where people can link to see your artwork? And I'll
I
include it in the show notes as well.
yeah, I have to update my website and stuff. Yeah, but I am on my at the moment my name on Instagram is a Rosie View Portraits. So I might change that in time. But it's a Rosie View Portraits at the moment. It's on Instagram tag, and my website is www at rosieview.ie. But I have to update that with the information about the exhibition and stuff. But I've also planned to like have to get the panel members to confirm that they're okay for me to put up the video, because I we had a panel discussion in relation to talking about, like, was it a fifth Kaufman, he does
You
the
were
baby
telling
trial.
me.
He was part of the panel. There was Dr. Philomena McCarthy, another artist that was in number 8. Her name was Lauren Hamilton, and she done an installation in relation to her, like, she's a photographer, but her installation was relation to her journey through endometriosis. So like,
Mm.
so that's why I asked her then to speak, because it kind of tied in nicely with mine. So, and then I spoke about my exhibition as well, and the team of work that we were doing. So was interesting now to have, and it was actually hosted by she's a lecturer in Limerick College of Art and Design, Lucina Russell.
Well, I
So
wish you every success with your ongoing work, and thanks again for joining me tonight to share your experiences of sounds like quite a positive VBAC in the end. And I'm sure I'll have questions from viewers as well, which I will kind of link in with you. But yeah, thanks for spending the time with me tonight.
thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Rosemary.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Remember, empowerment begins with knowledge. If you enjoyed our time together and want more content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. So stay inspired, stay informed, and until next time, take care of yourself.